Hey everybody, welcome back to Beauty for Ashes. For those of you who are new, my name is Sandra and I'm your host for this channel, and it's called Beauty for Ashes. Beauty for Ashes is a channel based upon restoration, right? We pretty much are based off of the Isaiah 61 promise that the Lord said He would give. It started out with the children of Israel, beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, and a garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness. And so we are here to break down what all of that means to help everyone. And it's pretty much about restoration, like I said. So thank you for tuning in. I ask that you like, subscribe, and share this channel to anyone who you care about, who you believe needs some encouragement for restoration. So the first episode talked about the crown that God is placing on our head as a symbol of restoration. This week, we're going to talk about the crown and our identity, right? I know that I was never the only one who asked, what am I supposed to do with my life? A lot of people are very confused as to why they are even here. I had a conversation with a young lady today. I think she's about 12. I'm a therapist, and so her sister was my client, and I saw them in the store, and mom was talking to me, and I asked the young lady, so what is it that you want to do when you grow up? And she said, I don't know. And I said, it's okay. And I told her, I said, ask God. He'll tell you, because He knows what He sent you here to do. And so I told her, I said, ask the Lord, what is my purpose? And so that's the question that a lot of people have and haven't found the answer yet, right? But I want to let you know that each and every one of us came here with a purpose. Each and every one of us. Jeremiah 1:5, the Lord told us, He said, I knew you before I formed you in your mother's womb, and I set you apart. Set apart, to be set apart means to be sanctified. I sanctified you, right? One translation says, I set you apart. To be set apart means to be set apart for the work of God. So God can't do anything on the earth without us. So He created bodies and sent us here. So each of us have an assignment. But when we come to the earth, we lose the connection with God. We don't know why we're here. And so in order for us to really get back into our connection with God, we need to surrender our lives to Jesus Christ, right? So again, each and every one of us have a purpose. You won't be able to identify your purpose unless you have that connection with God. We need to be reconnected with God. I did not know what my purpose was. I found out what my purpose was. I was in my 40s when I found out. The Lord tried to tell me when I was about 19, but I didn't listen because I didn't know who it was that was talking to me. But I know I heard specifically a voice telling me. And so I chose my own way. And it took several years. It took years for the Lord to redirect me back to where He wanted me to be. So just briefly, God said, do social work, study social work. And I said, I don't want to study social work. I loved reading. I loved writing. So I did journalism and I became a journalist. Well, God allowed me to do that. He did for several years. And then He redirected me and brought me right back into social services, even though I wasn't even qualified. My first job in social services, I wasn't qualified because I did not have a degree in social work. My degree was in communications. But I was hired because the person who hired me, she said, well, you have a degree in communication, so you must be able to communicate with people. And that's how I got my foot in the door. And I worked my way up from becoming an in-home what is called, they call us first responders, a in-home behavioral analyst. Until now, I'm a therapist, right? And so I am where God originally had me in the first place. That's the assignment he sent me into the earth to do, to counsel people and to listen to the brokenhearted and to help them find their way after they have been hurt. That's what I was sent here for. So each and every one of us have an assignment. So all you need to do is ask. Ask, seek, knock, and he will tell you. And I do understand and we start getting a little confused as to what our purpose is or what we're supposed to do. From about puberty, you begin to question. So I want you to know, right? God has a purpose for you. He has a purpose for each and every one of us. If you don't know what you're supposed to do, you need to ask him, right? Why was I born? Why was I sent into the earth? Who am I? What am I supposed to do, God? And trust me, he will tell you. If he will, and he will send people to tell you. People can look at you and say, what is it that you love to do? Right? What is it that you love to do? Whatever you love to do, that might be what you're called to do. I heard a preacher say one time, and that's what helped me to identify what my daughter's purpose was. He said, whatever frustrates you is what you are called to fix. And I repeated that over and over and over in my head for a long time. And I said, wow. So when it came time for me to direct my daughter, to help to direct her as to what her purpose is, the first time she had an encounter, and I looked at her and I said, maybe this is what you need to do. And she just jumped on it and she started going in that direction. And then God spoke years later and said, this is what I called her to do. Right. And he told my sister what it was. But I had already spoken that I've already spoken that career to her. So, and I thank God that I was able to do that. So just remember, whatever frustrates you is what you are called to fix, right? And so get yourself around the people that inspire you. Get yourself around people who are going places, right? Find a mentor in whatever area it is. Find mentoring, do researching, do reading. If you have to go back to school, go back to school. But whatever it is that frustrates you, that's what you are called to fix. And so the Lord we're literally in a season of restoration, people. We're in a season of restoration. And so if you are not even lined up the right way, you're going to miss everything that you're supposed to do. And I remember when the Lord gave this to me, he said, they have been hurt, they have been abandoned, they have been abused and rejected, but I'm restoring them and they're going to do great things. The world is going to see that they're going to do great things, for me. And so each and every one of us, but guess what? In order for you to do great things for God, you have to go through great tribulation. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. You have to go through great tribulation. If you take a look into that Bible, every person that did great things for God, they went through great tribulation. So if you find out that your life has been like a living hell on earth, then you're already in the right path. Right? If you find that you have had so much heartache and so much hurt and so many issues, right? And it seems like the battle never ends. Yeah, you're chosen to do great things for God, but you have to find out. And usually, whatever area you have the greatest hurt, that's the area that you are called to help people. That is the area that you are called to help people, right? So if you had a lifelong of trauma, and this is what I usually find, people who had trauma or people who were abused as children or neglected as children, they usually want to help, and they usually want to help children, and they usually want to give back, and they want to become counselors, therapists, whatever, social workers. They usually want to go in that line. So wherever your greatest hurt lies, that's where your calling lies. Okay? I mean, we have the ability to do great works. The Bible tells us that Jesus says, greater works than I will you do. He also says in John 10:10, I came that you may have life and have it more abundantly. And so whatever it is that we're called to do is where our abundance, and abundance doesn't necessarily mean money, neither does it mean material things. But when we do what God has called us to do, all of that will come along. The money will come, the material things, they will all come once we are lined up. Okay? So if you feel like your heart is tugging towards a particular career, search it out. Pray and ask the Lord. Pray and ask God, what am I here for? What am I here for? And if you have people, ask people to help you pray. Ask people to help you to seek the Lord about it. But I tell you, you have an assignment. You are not a nobody. You are a daughter of the King. You are a son of the King, right? You're a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a peculiar people. And that's what 1 Peter 2:9 says. And so we get caught up in what the world says we are and the negative lies of what the enemy says we are. But no. We are overcomers. We are the head and not the tail, right? And again, royal priesthood. I have a t-shirt that I wear sometimes and it says daughter of the King. And it's funny because I had it on 2 weeks ago and I was going into a supermarket and a lady, she stopped me and she said, hi, I like your shirt. And then I said, thank you. And I looked down and she had on a sweatshirt with the same writing on it, right? So she identified and she was like, and I'm glad that you identified it real quickly. So when you know who you are, and that's the next thing. When we know who we are, it shows. When we know who we are, we walk differently, we talk differently, we believe differently, we move differently. When we know who we are a threat to the kingdom of darkness, right? And so God wants you to know that. Stop believing the lies about who you are. Begin to believe who He says you are. Royal priesthood, holy nation, a peculiar people. You are royalty. And that's where that crown comes in. For those of you who never listened, who have not gotten the chance to listen to episode 1, go listen to episode 1. And it tells you the reason why He's placing that crown upon our head, right? So the crown signifies our identity. It signifies who we are on the face of this earth. We are somebody. We are children of the Most High God. And when you figure that out, no one can take that from you. So thank you so much for listening today. And I ask again, like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell so that when we post, you will be the first to know. Share this with your friends, share this with your loved ones, share this with your coworkers, your family, whomever, right? And again, royal priesthood, holy nation, a peculiar people, sons and daughters of the King. That's who you are. Till next time.